Hey guys! This is Samantha Franzen with Decidedly So. As most of you well know, we have been focused on the idea and concept of breast cancer prevention rather than awareness. If you have missed them, I've done a couple of videos thus far. You can go back and check those out, but today we are going to be talking about the number one product that I recommend consumers kick to the curb in order to prevent or reduce their risk of developing breast cancer. So the number one product that I recommend people kick to the curb is antiperspirant. I did not say deodorant. I did say antiperspirant. Let's get real here. Ain't nobody got time for sweaty armpits, right? Like, pitting out is the pits, and I am the queen in that department. When I was in high school, I once sang a song, "This is the story of a girl who sweat so much that she drowned the whole world." True story. Real right there. I was a sweaty girl in high school, and I hated pitting out. I actually checked out a bootlegged version of some prescription strength product that one of my girlfriends had been prescribed by her doctor that helped her stop sweating, and so I used it too, and it kind of passed through our sphere of girls. So I get that sweating is a real concern. I've been there, I've lived it. Let's talk about how that product was probably one of the absolute worst things I could have been putting on my body, but all of that to say that I feel your pain. I also recognize that there is some major concerns surrounding the aluminum salts that are used in antiperspirants to help prevent that sweating. Without going into too much of the researchy dynamic here, I want to share a little quick excerpt from some research that I came across recently on aluminum and human breasts. So it says, the upper outer quadrant of the breast is where there is also a disproportionately high incidence of breast cysts and breast cancer. Aluminum has been measured in breast tissues and fluids at higher levels than in blood, and experimental evidence suggests that a physiologically relevant concentrations of aluminum can adversely impact human breast epithelial cell biology. Now, I am no doctor. And at the same time, I am an astute and informed consumer, and I can deduct from that adverse effect and impact on human breast cell biology is really no bueno for any of us, and it should be of major concern. If you guys tuned into any of my previous videos, we talked about the fact that 85% of women who are diagnosed with breast cancer have no familial link to breast cancer, no genetic link. And so what we do know is that environmental factors are at play. What do we mean when we talk about environmental factors? We mean things like the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the products that we put on our skin every single day. That's the focus over here. With environmental factors, the things that we cannot control, the things like, for example, the air that we breathe every single day, we cannot control that very easily. The things that we can control, like the products that we put on our skin, I always say, when I have a choice, I am always going to choose something safer for myself and my family. And if by me simply switching out the products that I'm putting in my underarm area every single day, I have the potential to reduce my risk of breast cancer, 1,000 times yes, I am always going to choose the safer product, and I hope that you will as well. So I go on to say I'm not an alarmist, and I always am really cautious with some of the things that I say over here. And at the same time, I'm very solutions-based. I cannot recommend and bring attention to a problem without also offering a solution. It's just not what I'm about. So if you are going to kick aluminum salts and antiperspirant products that can contain aluminum salts to the curb, what can you use instead? And lucky for you, there are actually a lot of really incredible solutions out there for people like you and me, even if you're a sweaty kid like I am. Guarantee you I got some sweaty pits going on right now. So again, I share out of a place of love and empathy and compassion, and I have been there. So What can you use instead to control odor and wetness? There are a couple of key ingredients that are used in this arena of safer, non-toxic, kind of natural deodorants. The first one being powders. Consistently, we see either baking soda or arrowroot as two really great ingredients for helping to control wetness and odor. The one thing I like to mention with baking soda is that there are a lot of people who have sensitivities to baking soda. You're looking at one of them. The very first natural deodorant that I tried literally made my armpit break out in welts. I had red spots all over. Do not let anyone convince you that that is just your body detoxing. Be very careful when you are initially introducing things like brand new products that you're watching for skin irritations and things like that, because you could be sensitive as well. For those of us who are really extra sensy like me, I'm so sensitive. There is a solution for us, and I have found that activated charcoal is actually a really, really fantastic ingredient for helping to absorb moisture and control odor. And that has been my go-to jam when I have been looking for products that fit into this arena. Baking soda and activated charcoal are going to be your two main focuses. And so now grab a pen and a piece of paper and jot down a couple of suggestions, because I am going to talk you through some products that work. I have a couple of factors that I take into consideration before I recommend a product. One is, are the ingredients safe? And we're talking no funny business here. I don't want to see people putting fragrance on their label. That's a loophole for me. And then number two is always, does it work? Because I say all the time, it's great if your product's safe, but if it doesn't work, nobody cares. Nobody's going to use it. So those are the first two factors. The next one is that it looks nice. And, you can say, you're so vain, but I am. I want my products to look nice too. Last but not least, does it work as conveniently as your existing products do? For me, when it comes to deodorant, that means that it needs to be in a stick form, because I see a lot of products out there that come in jars or come in tubes or come in all variety of things, but I know that I personally am not a fan of sticking my finger into a jar of goop and then rubbing it into my armpit. Those are the main factors. Is it safe? Does it work? How does it look? And finally, that it's a stick when it comes to deodorant convenience. Here are some suggestions that I have for you. Native deodorant. That's a really great brand. They have a baking soda and baking soda free option. Piper Y is really great. Activated charcoal, I have used this one and I love it. Takasumi Armpit Detox is one that I just tried and I really like. Again, activated charcoal. It works really, really well. Price point might throw you a little bit. So that's just something to consider, but it works great. Bali Secrets is kind of one of the first ones that I branched into after trying baking soda products, after having like my armpits break out in welts. That one works great. Odor control, that's your jam. If you're somebody who's a little sweatier, that one might not work as well for you in the wetness department. Wetness. And then one that I'm super excited about is called Meow Meow Tweet, like a bird and cats. But Meow Meow Tweet, it's a super cute brand. They have typically been just in a jar format, which again, I told you I'm not a fan of, but they just released a stick. So I am going to be purchasing that one and trying it. Those are the suggestions on products that you can use instead. And I'm going to drop a link in the comments, you guys, for my website. I have a list of my favorite products over on my blog, decidedly-so.com. So that's it. Kick your antiperspirant to the curb, you guys. And before I part with you guys, I will mention this. We are absolutely aiming for progress over here, not perfection. I get that this is really hard, this conversion process, and there might be the occasion on which you need an antiperspirant. There is a reason why when I go out and I do like speaking things or it's high stress that I am always wearing black, because as I mentioned earlier, I am the sweaty kid and I don't know why. That's just the way the good Lord made me, apparently. And again, so progress, not perfection. There may be times that you need to use an antiperspirant and that is okay. But at the same time, when it comes to your day-to-day exposure and reducing your risk of breast cancer, absolutely kick that antiperspirant to the curb and switch it out for something that is safer in the deodorant arena. As always, we talk over here about know better, do better, so now you know better. And if you would, I would love for you guys to chime in the comments section. Is there something that you've tried and that you absolutely love? I am always on the hunt for the next amazing DO for your BO, because it is seriously the #1 request that I get from people as they're trying to start converting their product. If you find this information helpful, please share it with someone that you love, and then make sure that you're following along here and on Instagram, Decidedly So. I regularly am doing and sharing videos just like this with helpful tips and ways that you guys can not only reduce your risk and your exposure when it comes to things like breast cancer, but just all around from a health and wellness perspective, things that you can be doing to have safer products. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care, guys.